Now recording. I think.
Yes, we are. I think
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
No, no.
Yeah.
Who's turns it to do the intro?
I really don't know. It's been a while.
Well,
It's been a while.
it's been a while. Welcome people. Plus drinking OJMBC with plus 40 Thor. First episode of 2021.
Had to do it. Had to happen.
That's happened. Let's hope it's not like 2020, but we're always gonna bring this nerdy, geeky fire. You already know.
Yeah. Always. Always.
Always. So Ed, what are we talking about today?
Well, today, since 2020 was, let's just say it wasn't great. Let's just say it wasn't so great. If it was a Justice League member, I mean, it would be kind of Martian Manhunter, and I don't know. I love Martian Manhunter, but he's not great, is he?
You're not wrong.
If it was an Avengers character, I mean, I love Hawkeye.
Yeah,
He's not great, is he?
It's okay.
So what we're going to do is, instead of having it what we normally do, and that's focus on subjects, we're going to look forwards. We're going to just leave 2020 behind us. We're going to look forward to 2021, the promised land, the green grass that is 2021, and see what in nerd culture, what is Marvel, DC, some other franchises have got in store for us this year. And I tell you what, folks, it's a lot more than I thought it was, because there's some things I completely forgot about, and I'm sure Joseph's going to be a little bit shocked at how much is coming our way.
I can't.
So we'll do it like this. We'll do it by franchise, and we'll do it by movies, and we can have skips linked to that as well if we really need to. But we'll kick off with, since everybody kind of talks about it anyway, the pop culture phenomenon that is Marvel. Marvel has quite a bit going. Now, we all know that Disney Plus is a big deal at the moment. A lot of people have it. I have it. Joseph has it. I mean, a lot of people have sold out, so to speak. So we have, of course, if you haven't already seen it, but we're recording right now on January 16th. It's January 15th. It's the beginning of WandaVision.
Indeed.
So that's the first one that's getting nailed out of the park. We've also got the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I know, plus 44 is looking. I know he's looking forward to. And of course, one of my favorite characters, Loki, is making his way back to us by shenanigans of the timelines, and that's happening in May 2021. We've also got some other things coming out, but here's the thing. I think a lot of this as well is very COVID dependent, because Marvel can easily just say, right, okay, we'll push this to another time. But it's pretty fair to say, since we got a lot of July dates for movies, so we got a lot of March dates that's supposed to be coming out as well, June dates, they might be pushed up to fall or maybe even winter. We just don't know. It'll just depend on what Marvel and Disney want to do, So Shang Shi is meant to be in cinemas this year. That's nuts. That's going to be crazy. That's meant to be in July. We have Morbius. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, a lot of people would say that's Sony, but technically Marvel collaborators have been working with that as well. We've also got Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Oh.
Yeah, that's in June apparently. But again, guys, remember, COVID dependent, it might get pushed, you never know. And then, of course, in late 2021, we have got The Eternals, which is still a very mysterious film. We still got that mysterious film coming out, but I am actually not 100% sure that's going to be released in October, because, like I said, if everything gets pushed, that might be pushed into 2022. In which case, we'll talk about it then, But what do you think? What do you think of that lineup?
I'm very excited. Plus, there's also thing Black Widow re-release. Well, kind of re-release.
Yes, that's very true.
I'm excited, man. This is gonna be a good year. It's gonna be a very good year in terms of Marvel. Like, it's just okay. Let's start with WandaVision. WandaVision was first. I'm intrigued to say the least because it looks very different from other stuff in the MCU. Like
Yeah.
I've looked at I haven't watched it yet, but I've looked at all the trailers, all the promotions, and I just can't I can't gauge how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
It
I think
looks
that's
like it's
intentional.
worthwhile, but, you know.
I think that's intentional. I think like it's meant to be one of those series that's either going to be a one and done where it's like it's a one shot, like we'll get it for one and it'll be a character development thing and then leading into another story maybe. But I think it'll be one of those series where you watch it once and then you can watch it one more time to understand, oh, I see it now. But it's kind of lose its edge after that first couple of viewings, if that makes sense. Like you can watch like series like repeatedly, like Sopranos, some Game of Thrones. That's debatable. I know a lot of people are still hurting from that, but you can have some shows that you can go back and you watch and you absolutely love it again and again and again. And then you have like some series, and you guys probably know your own series. Like if you know what they are, leave them in the comment section below. But if you watch it once, it kind of loses its mystery, it loses its allure, and then it's not the same after that, you know? And there's movies where that happens as well. But yeah, WandaVision looks so interesting.
It does. Interesting is definitely the word.
Yeah.
It's all about power couple, man. Like that power, that's all I can say. Like they are powerful.
Totally.
Like especially the most recent Marvel films, like you see Scarlet Witch's power, like her value to the Avengers. You see that come to life very much. Vision's always been powerful, but Wanda kind of grew into it. Whereas Vision just bam, there, Age of Ultron, boom, here I am.
Yeah, OP right out of the gate. But the thing I love about Vision though is that he's very character defined. His limits are intrinsic. He is an android who's a baby. He's kind of a baby. So he's learning about these things. He's still developing himself. He's still second guessing himself, which is kind of what led to Rhodey getting blasted out the sky. You know, like he was off focus because he wasn't mature. Despite the fact that he's an android, he's still an adolescent technically, which says a bit about Wanda. What can we say? Falcon and Winter Soldier, that's going to be cool.
Oh, you know, I love the Falcon. I love Anthony Mackie. Great actor, man. Great actor. That's good. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be good.
I love Sebastian Stan, man. Sebastian Stan's the man. He really
is the man. He is the man. Like
I am on the side of people on the internet who are saying he should be the next Luke Skywalker. I think the same thing, guys. I think the same thing. He should be the series Skywalker or whatever. I think he should. That's a really good one. But I think honestly, that's gonna be so cool. It looks exactly like Winter Soldier, the movie. The kind of cinematography, the kind of stuff we got going on with it, with a splash of Avengers in there. But it looks incredible.
Honestly, it does. And the fact that they called it a Falcon seems like what's it called? Anthony's gonna. Well, he's gonna be Rhodey. He's gonna be himself.
Yeah.
He's gonna be more. Is it Rhodey? Am I right there? Sam. I was gonna say. Okay, yeah. He's gonna be himself, more of himself than Captain. He's gonna incorporate the Captain into him rather than the other way around.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what happened in the books. Like in the comic books, that's what happens. Like he inherits the role after Bucky, of course, because there's like a hot potato with Captain America mantle. Like it started with Bucky, which a lot of people were disappointed when they passed the shield to Sam. But Sam also becomes Captain America for a very temporary time when the super soldier serum accelerates. So that's not what's happened, but Captain America is now old. So of course it's going to be Sam that takes the mantle because that's the natural progression that happens. Whether it's a true Captain America or it's a version of Captain America, we're going to find out. And we're going to find out in this really good series. And check it out on Disney Plus. We're not sponsored by Disney Plus, guys. We just love Marvel, Star Wars, whatever. So if you haven't already and you're a Star Wars,
we're not saying no. We're not saying no.
We're not. Hey, yeah, exactly. Hey, Disney, if you're watching this,
where you at?
Exactly.
Oh, honestly, it will definitely be a good series. It's going to be up there. I feel like me and everyone who's a Marvel fan will watch it.
Yeah, go watch it, guys. And then Loki, enigmatic.
I think we talked about this before. He's a great actor. He's just a
Great
great
actor.
actor.
I'm so glad he's still in it. I'm like, oh yes,
100%. He just is. I love his playfulness and his. It's like damaged personality. It just works.
Yeah, he's got that charm, doesn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's just him himself. He just makes you want to watch it, regardless of what the trailer's like. As soon as you heard Loki and it's the same actor and everything.
Yeah.
Definitely want to watch it.
Exactly. Yeah. And then of course we have Shang Shi, which is a big deal for a lot of people when they announced that, and they were staying true to the characters. And it was going to be around the 10 rings. Oh, give me more.
Honestly, I'm very uneducated about this one. Like, I'm definitely gonna watch it, but I'm going into it very new to this one.
Oh, right. Okay, so a little bit of background for people who don't know about Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is kind of like one of the original martial arts heroes from Marvel, and there were people before him, but his power is basically being the master of combat. He's the master of martial arts. You know, they later developed that, as in there's no one better than him. So like characters end up training under him and stuff like that. And then later rebirths, he ends up being able to copy himself to being able to do all of this stuff. But the background that comes with the 10 rings is that the 10 rings wasn't necessarily meant to, I think it was something that was quite indignant when Marvel called the character, I think it was, what was it? It was like Wu Shang-Fu or something like that. So in other words, there was racial implications. It was like, oh, this is a bit insensitive when you go back and read it. But they've now changed it to the Mandarin, which of course we now know from the All Hail the King one shot is actually the leader of the 10 rings. So it's going to be the Mandarin and Shang-Chi, and whether we find out that Shang-Chi is involved with the 10 rings or not is going to be something that we're going to explore in this. It's going to introduce that whole side of Asia, like to Marvel, because we've only really known about it through Hawkeye when he went to go to Japan.
Mm.
From what we gather from this plot, it's going to be post-event of the snapping. So it's going to be a very different Asia. So it's going to be great in that it includes like a culture, it includes this new character, and of course it includes. We're going to get like some next level cinematography for Chinese martial arts in this. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be some kung fu fighting.
To be honest, I'm excited too. Like, I just hope it doesn't turn into another Black Panther where people like it because it's the first Asian film of Marvel.
Probably going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
And of course, Morbius. The immortal vampire, the living vampire, whatever you want to call him. Do you know much about this one?
No idea. No idea.
Oh my God! Right. So this is one of my favorite anti-hero characters. I know, like for a lot of people watching this, if you're like, oh, anti-hero, okay. But he's one of those guys who is truly defined as an anti-hero. His origins come from turning into a vampire via his own means. He tried to cure a blood disease for him and his loved ones, and ended up creating another gene that was vampirism, you know? But what we then find out later is that vampires already exist. He just created another version of it. So this is where Blade comes into this. This is where Dracula, yes, Marvel has Dracula in this. So Morbius is basically on the same level as Spider-Man, Daredevil, Luke Cage, and all those guys. He's very much a street king, but he brings the supernatural into Marvel. So we're going to see a lot of supernatural in this film.
And is this in MCU?
Yep.
Damn, so potential crossover right there.
Yep. Here's the thing, is Sony's made it as that thing that happened with, the Spider-Man divorce that happened. They bull rushed this movie because they wanted Tom Holland in a scene with this. So it might have happened. And then Marvel got involved, so they made some tweaks to it. Whether it's tweaks where they've eliminated Tom Holland or they've included Tom Holland is another story. We'll find out. And speaking of Spider-Man, we've also got Venom.
Venom.
Let there be carnage. It speaks for itself, right?
The first one was definitely interesting. It's definitely different from what Marvel normally does, but I liked it. Yeah. Tom Hardy, damn good job. I would say that. Damn good job. And story, they had fun with the storyline. I could tell they had a bit of freedom there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although, what was it? Tom was a little bit annoyed that they didn't include some of the more darker scenes that he filmed because he really went into the character. And it was a 12, so they weren't able to get the 18. Will they get the 18 this time? We'll have to see. We'll have to find out. I'm almost sure they didn't, but hey, what can you do?
We'll have to see. Actually, speaking of Spider-Man, is that coming out this year or next year?
I think that's next year.
It's next year, okay. That's something definitely to look forward to, though.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? Honestly, I feel like if Marvel they could have bought the rights to Spider-Man years ago. Like, if they hadn't, because I think because of their success in the MCU, that's why we can't get Spider-Man back now.
Yeah, essentially.
If they bought them before they popped off, then they'd have probably been able to get Spider-Man for a reasonable agreement.
Honestly, Sony won't give them up because they know here's the thing, they're so good with business, Sony. Like,
Spider-Man.
They know that it's a long-term investment, Spider-Man. They are going to get money, and they're going to get an expanded growth of money, which means that you'll buy it for, like, say, $5 million. In 5 years' time, that's going to be 5 times as much, 25 million right from the bat, but you only bought it for 5 million. You might be able to sell it for 25 million. Why would I sell it for 25 million when I can make 50 million? It's just, to them, they know that if they hang on to Spider-Man, it's going to make money.
True.
And they've proven that time and again. Video games, merchandise, TV shows, movies, spin-offs, everything.
Even movies themselves, man. Like, there's money in that. Like, and you can remake it how many times you want. Spider-Man, they're making Spider-Man, and now Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And to be fair, with this whole multiverse rumors going on, they could make infinite amount of Spider-Mans. To be fair,
yeah, they're setting themselves up to make spin-off Spider-Man. Spider-Man, and then of course Miles Morales. That's going to be an amazing character that they introduce. When they introduce it is another story. Hopefully we talk about that on this show because I can't wait to play the game. Like, my brother's got the game. I'm going to play the game after university. I'm one of those guys where as soon as I'm in the game, I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm in games, but I need to focus on books and studying. And then, of course, we got Eternals. Eternals is like one of those films where it could either go really well or really not so well.
It's very fun.
It's like that, really, because it's not a hugely known film. It's not a hugely known group, but they've got an all-star cast behind it. They've got a lot of promises to be made with Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it could be like a Guardians of the Galaxy. It could be under the table, and people don't expect it, and then boom,
Oh, no, don't say Guardians of the Galaxy. Don't say that.
I'm just saying, man. I'm saying it could be. I'm not saying it will. I'm saying it could be. Fair enough. Because a lot of people aren't focusing on it. That's all I'm going to say.
Isn't Kit Harington? Is he there? Is that him?
He's the bad guy in it. He's the big bad.
I was surprised because when he finished Game of Thrones, there was some interview he did or whatever. He said, "I'm steering away from action roles now. I want to focus on other stuff, diversify myself." Comes in Eternals, which is different. It's different, to be fair. It's not Game of Thrones.
Yeah, apparently it's going to be a lot more thespian driven. So what that means is that it's a lot more theatrical. So think of stage right, stage left. It's going to be a lot more dialogue with some action in between, of course. But this is going to be a very interesting movie. But I hold on to saying that it could either go so well, like Guardians of the Galaxy level, or on the other side of the spectrum, it could just Fantastic Four.
Need you say more?
Need I say more?
Oh my gosh.
But here's the thing. Marvel have been on such a track. Will 2021 be the year that it's finally see a bad film? Because they've not really seen a bad film.
True.
They have critically, but it's always made money. So that's another question. Will 2021 be the year that Marvel have a bust? Who knows?
It's like I always see them breaking even. Like, I always see it.
Yeah. Speaking of breaking even, let's move on to DC.
Great. There we go.
Oh, we go from Marvel to DC. It's not fair. I know, people. It's not fair. Not fair. But speaking of breaking even, Suicide Squad, this movie has so much riding on it.
Honestly.
When you talk about the weight of a franchise on something, and a lot of people be like rolling their eyes like, no, it's not that big. Trust me, it is.
It is.
With the pandemic, Wonder Woman did not make the money that they expected it would make. They thought they would get another Wonder Woman 1.
It never was. It never was. I could never see that happening.
No one could. So DC now is like, what are we going to do? And they're like, well, we've got most of our stock now is in this film. If this film does well, they keep going. If it doesn't, then it might be merchandise, animated movies, video games. It might have to just stick to that for a while and just say, what are we doing with our cinematic universe? Because yes, Batman's still coming. I think that's going to be a really interesting film. It's going to be the most non-DC film, he says. But this film is probably going to be the most DC film we talked about before cameras went on. Is that like, no spoilers, of course. Like, Joseph's seen Wonder Woman. I have not. And some feedback from Joseph was very telling to me. So I'll go into it with no rose-tinted glasses, of course. But it does say for Suicide Squad that it has so much pressure going into this. What do you think? What do you think, Joseph?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big fan of Will Smith, and as soon as they said they're doing a reboot and it's not the same cast, I was like, I wasn't happy. But you know, I'm open. It's like you said, I'm not going in with rose-tinted glasses, but I want big things. I want big things. They have a lot riding on it. Hopefully, they've put 110% in because to be fair, they need to.
Yeah.
We'll see. To be fair, I'm most interested with the storyline because I've heard everything about like castings, like. Is it John Cena and people like that? Idris Elba or whatever?
Yeah, so it's like Margot Robbie's back. John Cena's in it. He basically plays Captain America, but he kills people ruthlessly. There's a few other characters that are throughout the shot, but the thing is, guys, like if you watch it for Margot Robbie, apparently she's taking a bit more of a backseat. I mean, she's a bit more prominent, of course, but it's now meant to be. It's James Gunn who's at the helm, so we can expect some level of a Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3. We could, like where it's like it's an equal parting, it's a group dynamic. We'll see a lot of blood, we will see a lot of action, we will see a lot of exploding stuff. We'll have a good laugh as we're doing it because they'll have some jokes in there as well. But I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people are a bit skeptical about it, but I'm like, hey man, I mean, it's if it's dumb, then it's fun,
No, same with me. Like for me, bottom line for every movie is storyline because I just love movies in general. So if the storyline is good, then I don't care about politics. If the movie's good, the movie's good.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. And for people who watch the series that goes on with DC, they've got Doom Patrol's coming out again. Their next season, I think it's on season 3 now. I am yet to see season 2. I've seen season 1. I did like it. It was very quirky. And then there's the Harley Quinn TV show that's coming out, as well as Titans. Titans is making a comeback. Don't call it a comeback.
Is that the Netflix?
What's that?
Is that the Netflix one?
Yes, it is the Netflix one. Yes.
That was very. Oof. I don't want to use the term DC again, but it was very dark.
It was very dark. Yeah. I love the second season, man.
I haven't actually watched the second season. Like after watching the first season, I was just like, no.
Yeah, first season, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I know some people love the show, but the first season to me was a big write-off. Nice. I really never watched season 2, and I'm so glad I stuck around for season 2. It was good. It was good.
Something to think about.
Something to think about, folks. Something to think about. Hey, if you disagree, leave the comments down below. And then, of course, we've got a new season of Young Justice. It's one of my favorite.
Wait. Is this live action?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say because I used to watch cartoon series. Good, not gonna lie. I'd love to see a real one. I would actually love that. That's a good idea. I'd love to see a real one just then.
A real Young Justice?
Yeah, live action.
I mean, it could. It'd just be a lot of money, wouldn't it?
That is true.
When you got like a dedicated audience there that doesn't need to put that much budget. Like the only way I would say it would work in live action is that DC literally ran out of Justice League ideas. So like, how about the sidekicks? We know that Young Justice goes well, you know. But other than that, I don't see why. Like it would probably because they're doing well with it just now, you know. To give you an idea of how well it did, like DC canceled it, Warner Bros. Canceled it, and there was so much of an uproar about it that they ended up bringing it back like 3 years later because people kept like bugging them about, come on, bring it back, and they're like, okay, Jesus, right, okay. just to give you guys an example, that's what fan passion does sometimes. It brings people back from the dead. But in this case, it was a TV show, so I guess you have to make do.
One thing I'm kind of skeptical that I'm really, really hoping goes well. I don't know if they've confirmed any release dates, but Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson. Like, I love Dwayne Johnson. Like, I love Dwayne Johnson.
Your boy loves Dwayne Johnson. He does.
I never saw him going into any superhero cinematic universe. Like, he's very Hollywood. But at the same time, even though I never saw it in terms of me liking movies, he's very marketable. So it was almost like it's bound to happen.
Yes.
So I'm just hoping it goes well. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I'm hoping it goes well.
That's the thing, man. It could go either way, but it's Dwayne that's in it, so it's going to make budget and go above budget because he's in the film. That's a guarantee, you know. I think that's why him and Marvel just haven't come to an agreement, because he wants a majority creative control, and they're just like, no, we're not giving it to you, Dwayne. You can't have this. And he's like, but I want it.
I mean, yeah, that's true. He's used to making his own blockbusters, like, Skyscraper, Rampage, that kind of thing. He's used to having isn't it 7 books production and all that? He's used to having
he has ascended to the guy behind the camera just as much as he is the guy in front of the camera, and he sells. The guy sells. So he's making that big moolah, that big dollar. Yeah, who knows? Things might change. Now I'm wanting to move on to like series, because the series stuff that we have in Netflix, that's going to be incredible, because I was really excited. I was like, oh my God, there's actually a lot coming out on Netflix. Some of them, some of you guys might have watched, some maybe not, that you might want to look into.
With that discreetness.
What? I'm just saying they might want to look into.
For those of you listening on Spotify, Ed is winking very subtly.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you guys. So we got Lucifer. 5th season's coming out. For those of you who don't know, it's based on the comic book Lucifer Morningstar. One of my favorite comic books. The show's
comic book.
Oh my God, Joseph! I know what I am getting you. I know what I'm getting you now.
I did not know that was based on a comic book. Like, yeah. I know it's very popular. Like, I haven't watched it, but it's been recommended to me so many times.
Yes.
I did not know it was a comic. It was based on comics.
Yeah. DC ended up buying it out, believe it or not. So it's technically a DC product. Technically. I mean, some people might go in the comment section, actually, it's I know. But technically it is a DC character. Lucifer Morningstar is part of the Hellraiser series, as well as he is a part of some series. This is why you see crossovers happening. So like CW will have crossovers with their Lucifer, with what's his face? Oh geez, my brother's gonna kill me with this one. His name's just completely went out of my head. Constantine, that was it. So you see him crossover with Constantine, Zatanna, and Batman a few times. So Lucifer does do that sometimes, but a lot of times it is in a crossover sense. They don't actually kind of merge into each other. But very interesting comic book. The series is okay. I mean, the latest series is pretty good, but the series in the beginning is all right. And this is one for a lot of people, if you haven't heard of it yet, Shadow and Bones, that's coming out on Netflix. This is based on a very interesting fantasy series, a Russian fantasy series, that recently released a teaser trailer with this big stag with all these antlers and so on. And I won't go into too much detail, but I will say that it is an interesting take on fantasy through Russian culture, Slavic culture, similar to Witcher, but they have their own twist on things. Speaking of, we've got Witcher, the series that's coming out as well called Blood Origin. That's going to be great. And if you guys haven't seen The Witcher already, like after you finish listening to us, just go
I still need to watch it, man. Like my brother recently watched it, and he was like, "You need to watch." I was like, "Bro, Ed's already telling me this." But you mean we do love Henry Cavill? We love Henry Cavill.
I'm just, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Don't worry, I'll watch it one day.
Yeah. So that is coming out in late 2021, guys. It might get pushed to 2022. We just don't know. Henry Cavill did have a broken leg by the sounds of things, but also the COVID situation, we don't know what's going to happen. But since streaming services are still going, Amazon, Netflix, Disney, and all that, the streaming service I think will do fine. It's just mostly the movies, but who knows? It might change.
I mean, I'm not a stock person, but I'm guessing these sites, their stocks are going up like mad. With all these movies,
dude, have a look at it. It's incredible. Like, big spike in 2020 from like March all the way to December has been like a steady climb in every streaming service, not just one, every one of them. And it's, to me, I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. But then if you're a movie theater, you're like that. You're like, because people are just not wanting to go to the movies anymore. And of course, pandemic aside, that's a thing. But I think it's something that was worth talking about in a future podcast. Subscribe, guys. Possibly going into the cinema and what's going to happen, or what might happen, or what might not happen. But it does look like the death of cinema is kind of coming in the way we know it. It might not go away in the way that we view it, but the way we know the cinema experience, it might change substantially, you know? But anyway, without getting too upset about things and doom and gloom, we might be looking forward. We've also got The Sandman that's going to be coming out, and a new Resident Evil that no one asked for.
No, I'm telling you, I've watched like two.
Just
I can't follow the timeline. Like I've watched two. They're okay separately. I don't know what the timeline is about, man.
I know. I think someone mentioned like it's maybe like a revamp, a reskin. I don't know. I'm just like, I didn't ask for this, so please just
like, watch when it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and you can't sleep.
Yeah.
Like that's all it's gonna be.
Hey, when me and my mates are in high school, remember, guys, I'm 10 years older than Joe, so just bear with me now. When this stuff was coming out, that's exactly what we did. We would end up like watching it on Sci-Fi or like one of these channels, and it'd be showing at like 1 a.m. in the morning, and we just wouldn't be sleeping. We'd just be chilling, hanging. This would be playing in the background. We didn't care about it, but it was there. That's so true. That brought back some memories there.
Honestly, I mean, let's just say I wouldn't pay to watch it in cinema. I'll leave it there.
Yes, and I'm not sure if a lot of people will with that stain. I mean, it happens, guys. It happens. I know there's a lot of people who might be watching this. It'll be a case of, oh, but I actually kind of liked it. It's like that. Yay, man! If you liked it, you liked it. It's all good. Don't worry. You do you.
I like what they tried to do.
Yeah,
because they tried. There's so many movies where there's a zombie apocalypse and everything goes to hell, but like they tried to make something huge out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I like what they tried to do.
Yeah, me and Mitt were talking about this the other day. He loves zombie films, so he was like the zombie guy before it was cool. The hipster zombie guy. No, he was like so into 24 hours later, 24 weeks later, all that. He was into that, and then suddenly Walking Dead comes out, and every other person in their gran is a zombie person, you know, and he's like, right, guys, you know, and they're all talking about, oh, this is great when this happens. He's like, yeah, like 24 hours later, or like, yeah, like this movie, and they're like, oh, but isn't it great when this happens? Yeah, that's like that movie, you know. It's just so funny. But anyway, I digress. For your guys who are not on Netflix but they're on Amazon, we've got The Boys returning perhaps in October. Oh, I can't wait.
I don't get that. Like I saw the trailer. Like it was all over Amazon, like they were advertising it, they were pushing it a lot, but I don't understand it. I don't know whether to. I just don't understand it.
Again, based on the comic book. Another one based on the comic book. Great series. Great series of comic books. It has a lot to do with publicity.
What's that? It looks like it has a lot to do with publicity and marketing, like actually within the series.
Yes.
Which is interesting, but I'm not. You know, we'll see. Maybe I'll give it a watch. We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, what is it? How many times am I going to tell you about a series and you're like, actually, that was ended up being really good, Ed? Sorry about that.
Fair enough.
But,
Mandalorian. That's like the ultimate I told you so from Ed, Mandalorian.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, the last scene. Okay, I'm not spoiling it for everyone, but I'm not joking. I was in Manchester. My brother was on on his phone with his friends, and I just out of nowhere I was like, "Oh my god!" My brother was like, "What?" Oh my god! Honestly. All
I'm gonna say is that it's just one wing. There's just one wing.
Oh, honestly, I'm so happy I stuck with it. I'm so happy I stuck with it.
Yeah, man.
Loki, I was low-key disappointed when I was thinking there's not going to be a season 3. But now we know what's coming, I'm happy.
Which we're going to talk about in another podcast, guys. Don't you worry. We've got a whole Marvel-esque release time of all the spin-offs. I'm excited. Joe's excited. You guys are excited. We know you're excited. If not, what are you doing here? Anyways, while you're here, please subscribe. Anyways, you already know. We've got the Lord of the Rings spin-off that's happening on Amazon. Whoo! It's going to be incredible. We've got Picard coming back with its new season.
Yes, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, that's going to be
very different from Star Trek, because like normally Star Trek, half of it is on a starship or something. Yeah. This time, I like it. It's refreshing.
Exactly, man. Like sometimes it's okay with a change of pace, and you know what? Some people might not be their taste, but it is like you say, it is a change. It's a change up.
Patrick Stewart, man. That man, Patrick Stewart. Need I say more? Just yeah.
That man is what we call a bona fide sir.
Exactly.
We've also got American Gods for some people who watch that. I mean, I watch it passively. I don't watch it as much as I used to. Carnival Row, which I still haven't watched yet. A lot of people tell me I need to. And that's pretty much what's going on for Amazon. And we're going to get into what I call everything else unmissable. So, unmissables. Raya the Last Dragon. Now, that is going to be interesting. Just like we were talking about with Shang Shi, I think this is going to be that equivalent, but for Pixar and, of course, Disney. I think that's going to be a big one.
You actually sent me the trailers to this, I remember.
Yeah.
I like the music. I don't know why. It's just, you got the whole theme. I don't know. It's got a nice pace.
Oh, man. It's going to be so deep. It just looks so endearing. I was just watching it, and I was actually smiling as I was watching. I was like, this actually looks really good. But who knows? It might be like a How to Train Your Dragon. It might not. It might be like something else. That's fair enough. And we have also got Godzilla versus King Kong.
Ooh. This has been a long time coming. I have a friend that's very into this, and I'm not that into this, but from him, I know this has been very long time coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, finding out the blue corner, he stands at 2 skyscrapers tall, hailing in from parts unknown. He is Godzilla.
Oh my god! Honestly, that will be interesting.
It'll be amazing shit. I nearly said it. Yeah, I never did. It's all good. I
mean, okay. Let's say, who have you got your money on here?
Kong.
Okay, interesting. And actually, no, I get it, because you always go for the more versatile mobile people. Let's think about this though. In the fight, King Kong is the versatile one. That was actually mad.
I mean, you got Godzilla with those arms like that. Come at me. I mean, yes, he has got like a nuclear blast on him, but he's got to actually catch him first. So
it's true. That is true.
The thing is that we all know what's going to happen. They're going to be at odds with each other. They're going to maybe scrap one or twice, and then they're going to team up in the end, and then they're going to be like, yeah, we're buddies, you know?
You know what I just thought of? Imagine when the Mountain and Prince of Dawn were fighting, like, how are you feeling during all of that? How it ended, it was like, you're just like, yeah, Prince is going to win this. Mountain comes in, oh.
They're like, oh!
Bro, I was just staring. I was like, oh my God. Bro, the sound effects, man. The sound effects.
You know what, guys? Like when you hear a man's cracking skull and then suddenly the splat that follows, you get taken by surprise. Who would have thought? For those of you who did not get taken by surprise, you might need help. This might be your calling card. We have also got Uncharted, which, if you guys don't know, is based on a video game. It's going to be Tom Holland playing the famous Nathan Drake. So basically, Indiana Jones in a different light, basically. We've also got Space Jam. Who can ignore Space Jam?
Ooh, first one was iconic. I haven't actually watched it, and I know it was iconic. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
And this is the part of the show where I say I handed my notice. Like, I just can't work in these conditions. Someone hasn't seen Space Jam. How could you?
Bro, you said yourself you're 10 years old, okay? When it came out, I was probably still in diapers or something.
He's not even 8 years old. Were you still in diapers at 8 years old?
I don't know when it came. Oh my God, I don't know. It came out sometime.
No, it came out like in the 90s, I think. I think it came out in the 90s. So you're fine.
I wasn't conceived then, Jesus. Oh my God, yeah, that is a while back.
That is a while back, yep. But Space Jam is finally coming out with a new legacy that's maybe happening in September. And like we keep saying, it might not, who knows. Hopefully it stays in September. And of course, a very expected, with a lot of apprehension towards it, is Dune. Now, or Dune, however you pronounce it, Dune. It's coming out in September. It's the one with the all-star cast. It's basically meant to be the book that a lot of sci-fi was based on, and they finally made it into a movie. So that's going to be a very interesting lineup as to what happens. I'm not going to say too much, but I will say that you've got so much coming your way, guys. If you haven't seen the trailer already, look it up. It's Dune. For those of you who are watching are a bit particular to Timothée Chalamet, the man is the lead in it. He's leading it. Dave Bautista's in it, as well as so many other guys like Jason Momoa. All-star cast.
That's a very nice cast, actually.
Dude, check out the cast. It's all-star, all singing, all dancing. But it's because this.
Is it musical?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say. Almost ruined it for me there.
I know exactly. I nearly ruined it for a lot of people. For those of you who know, Dune is not a musical. Just to let you know. But anyways, check out the trailer. See if it's something that you might be interested in. I will say that you might not be let down. Just saying. The book is also credible if you want to pick that up as well. And those were some of the stuff that's coming out. And yes, I didn't mention Ghostbusters because I don't want to be disappointed again.
I'm not even on the whole Ghostbusters vibe. Like, I need to get on that vibe. But actually, the only time it came up on my radar was have you watched what's it called? Zombieland? The funny one.
Yes.
That's when it first came out. When was he called? Was he Billy Harrelson? No, it was the younger one that killed. What's his name? He was in.
What's his name?
I forgot his name.
He played Zuckerberg though, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he's a decent actor, or whatever his name is, when he killed the Ghostbusters guy. I don't even know his name.
As you can tell, we're all very versed here on this show. So
you can tell. You already know.
We have that post-exam brainage going on.
Exactly. Well, one thing I wanted to do, I've pitched you part of this idea. I wanted to get this on camera, my Marvel idea. So if it does come out eventually, I can say I had the idea first, okay? I'll credit to this, okay? Marvel, where you are. If you were listening, this is when you should really tune and get your writers to write something down, okay? The son of the Bifrost, man. Son, chills. Chills. So, I've actually been thinking about this a lot. So,
Cool.
my thought is, I don't know if there's anything about this in the comics, but my thought is, when the Asgardian army was like at their prime with the Valkyrie and everything, and they were taking over, getting their hold on the Nine Realms and all that, I was thinking Idris Elba, aka Heimdall, was like rising up the ranks with what's he called Odin, and Hela is getting jealous. At this point, he has a family, he has a wife, and he has one son, aka the son of the Bifrost. Once you got Hela, she plans to kill them. She kills his wife. He sends his son to Earth. His son doesn't know who he is. So the son is on Earth. Son is chilling. His father dies. When his father dies by the hands of Hela, that activates something in him. We don't know. Boom. Thor comes in. We've got a journey. And honestly, at first I was thinking, I've been thinking about this for a while. I was thinking maybe he'd be the key to the restoration of Asgard. But after watching Infinity War and everything and how they placed in Earth, he'd be the key to something. I haven't got that far yet. But I'm just letting you know, Marvel. Come back, just I'm ready for my contracts.
There's one issue I find with that.
Here we go. Come on, lay it on me.
What is the sun gonna be?
That's a good point. Oh my god, you ruined this for me. Wait.
I'll make a suggestion. How about his son goes to Earth, but he has to sacrifice his immortality? So he has to forget about his life at the cost of his immortality. But he has sons, and then they have sons, and then it goes on and on and on until we see this kid. Like maybe he's in Jersey, maybe he's in Connecticut, or maybe he's in some part of the East Side. Don't hate me, West Side. I'm just saying sometimes it does happen near New York. A lot of these things do.
That's true. It was always in New York.
But then, like you say, he dies. The Bifrost energy goes somewhere. It ignites in his kidneys. Like, what the? You know, is this what puberty is? You know?
Imagine, there will be a joke about that somewhere.
So yeah, I think that'd be a nice little adjustment to your story, is just have it so it's like generation. And then, yeah, there you go.
I mean, Marvel, where you are. We are ready to sign contracts. Actually, speaking of that, how do you feel about the old cast, like, leaving? Because Robert Downey Jr. is already gone. I always want to call him Steve Rogers. I don't know why. Chris Evans.
He's technically Steve Rogers. Yeah.
Because I normally call him Captain America. So when I think of the actor, I'm thinking of Steve Rogers, even though that's just him in the movie.
Yeah.
But Chris Evans, he's gone. Chris Hemsworth is getting ready to leave. No one likes Chris Pratt. I'm playing. I love Chris Pratt.
I was going to say, I like Chris Pratt.
Oh my god, but yeah, Black Widow's already dead. Jeremy Renner. Actually, that's one that's coming out, isn't it? Hawkeye.
Yep.
I don't know when is that coming out this year or next year?
Next year.
That will be interesting, definitely, though. We've seen how much, ever since after Thanos' snap, we've seen how much power he has. We've seen what he's got stored in, so. But he does have a family now. His family came back. Well, we'll see what happens there, though. But what do you think? What do you think about these casts, the original cast?
It had to happen. And the thing, I think this is a good thing for Marvel, is that you can have actors that have their tenure and then go on to do other projects, you can even have people come back. Like, here's the thing. We know that a lot of people will want these people to come back, because for those who read the comics and know, death is not the end for a lot of heroes, So just because they're away doesn't mean that they can't come back. I think it would ruin their legacy in a way, and it would diminish the return of having a death in Marvel that would mean something. But I don't think it means permanently going away. I think if the money's right, and of course if the person's creative control allows it to, you can have a prequel, you can have a voice, you can have a mentor or whatever. But I really do like that they bring new people in, because one, it means that there's longevity there for the business that is Marvel. Because if actors look at it, they don't want to be stifled. They don't want to be put in a situation where there's no way out. So when these people have the tenure and they're really successful at the end and they have things going everything their way, it's a good advertisement for new upcoming actors like a new Hemsworth, a new Evans, a new Scarlett Johansson, and like there's going to be new versions of these characters. There's going to be new up and comers, and of course, really established characters and really established talent that come to Marvel now, and they can then make more movies. It's good longevity, you know. It might sting for us because we've seen these characters, we kind of grew up with these characters, but in the same breath, it's actually a good thing. It means that there is that rejuvenation, there is that new energy, you know, and as long as they keep the process going the way that they're going, I think honestly they can go for as long as they want to, you know. People still watch. If it still makes money, they'll keep on going.
But actually, you know what that reminds me of? Harry Potter. I've been sending you some stuff about this on social media. Like, it is toying with my feelings, man, because my mind is telling me not gonna happen. Like, we've talked about this. Actors have moved on, this and that. There's just too much on social media hinting at rumors of this and that coming out. And I'm just like, practically, it's not gonna happen. But I just want it to happen so much.
Yeah, it fills your heart with hope.
Exactly, man. I watched it for Christmas. Like, oh, I'm very in Harry Potter right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else? Anything? Have we missed anything?
We probably will have. Listen, guys, if we missed something, sound off in the comments. And don't forget to leave us a thumbs up.
Exactly.
And if you're listening on Spotify, thank you so much for your time. And let us know if there's anything we missed or if there's anything you agree, disagree. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
And as we end off every podcast episode now, you already know.
You already know.
Exactly. We will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Catch you guys.